Hi, everybody. Welcome again to Ivy English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Okay, today we ask the question, why do doctors recommend annual flu shots?
Why?
I recommend shooting the flu.
Okay.
Like wholeheartedly. Can we just shoot COVID?
Yeah, COVID is a kind of flu.
Yeah, 这个地方这个 shot 它的动词当然是 shoot 啊。那这个 Angela 是开玩笑说啊，我们可不可以就把他赞成把这个 flu 就把它 shoot 啊，就把它枪毙掉了啊。不过这里这个 flu shots 这是复合名词，所以重音在前面 flu。刚这个 Bruce 老师念得很清楚。好，那这个 shots 在这里就是注射的意思。所以这个
It's referring to vaccination shots.
哦，对，它尤其指的是疫苗的注射啊。那英文题目的意思就是为什么医生会建议每年都要打流感疫苗？好，那我们中文标题差不多，为什么医生建议每年接种流感疫苗？
Okay, I'll read through the whole story first, this first article for us this month. Then we'll go back, as we always do, sentence by sentence. Listen carefully and see how much you can pick up just by listening. When the flu season begins during the late fall of each year, you may hear doctors or health officials remind the public to get their annual flu shots. However, many people have asked, if the vaccine is effective, then why do people need a new one each year? According to medical experts, people need a yearly flu shot because the virus that causes the flu is constantly evolving. The virus, known as influenza, can cause a wide range of uncomfortable symptoms, from a mild sore throat to severe muscle pains. For some demographics, such as the elderly or the overweight, getting sick with the flu can be deadly. Since the outer structure of the influenza virus changes all the time, epidemiologists must work hard to develop new vaccines based on new strains of the virus in order for them to be effective. At influenza surveillance centers around the world, new strains of the virus are reported and analyzed each year. Around February, the World Health Organization decides which of these strains are most likely to be prominent in the coming year. Scientists then get to work to produce a new vaccine before the next flu season arrives. It's also important to remember that the body's immune system is constantly developing as well. It's not just the influenza virus that is changing. That means a vaccine that might have been effective last year is likely to be useless after 12 months. That's why experts recommend getting a new flu shot yearly to protect yourself and others. Remember, the vaccines not only alleviate the worst symptoms of the virus, but also help reduce transmission of the viral disease throughout the population.
Okay, so as we're reading through the article, I noticed a thing, which is that there's a number of ways to talk about a periodical activity or an activity done in a set period of time. The first one we run into is in the title. An annual flu shot, an annual doctor visit, an annual trip to the Bahamas. God, I wish. An annual salary, an annual something, okay?
Right.
So that's the first version of it. So as we go through the article, I'm going to point out the other ones. There's 4 different ways of talking about this here in the article. So let's do the first sentence. When the flu season begins during the late fall of each year, you may hear doctors or health officials remind the public to get their annual flu shots. So the flu season is not like apple season. But I mean, when we talk about a season, we talk about something, a period of time during which something is available. So usually it means it's cantaloupe season. We can have cantaloupes now. Yay, they're available in the stores. When we talk about flu season, we're not saying that flu is available exactly, but we're saying that it is a present danger or a present situation. So it's during this period of time where you're most likely to get flu, although you can get flu all year round if you want. So, when the flu season begins during the late fall of each year, you may hear doctors or health officials. So doctors are health officials, but not all health officials are doctors, right?
Mostly.
Yeah. So a health official is anybody who is associated with the government whose job it is to tell you about your health, I guess. And so they remind the public. Who is the public? Us.
Me.
We are all the public, not just
you. He.
It's not just Bruce here, but all of us are the public. Anybody who belongs to society is the public.
好，所以我们看到这个开始呢，他说 when the flu season 这个地方指的是流感季节，好 ，season 就是一个流行的季节啊。那 begins 开始 during the late fall 在这个晚秋的 late fall 或者秋末的时候呢 of each year 每年的秋末的时候，当这个流感季节开始的时候呢 ，you may hear 你可能会听到 doctors 医生或者是 health officials 不一定是医生啊。但是医生通常就可以算叫做这个 health officials 啊，或者其实我们也可以反过来讲，我们刚刚说 health officials 不见得是医生，但大部分的这个卫生单位的官员大概都是有医学背景啊，或者是医生。那他们会怎么样呢？你会听到这些人 remind 啊，就是他们会 remind people to do something， 就他们会提醒人们要做什么事。所以你会听到这些人在提醒民众 the public 要干嘛呢？要 get there， 要去接种。Get 在这里是接种的意思，因为它的受词是 flu shots， 所以接种流感疫苗就是 get flu shots。那这个流感疫苗是年度的，所以是 annual 放在这个地方。
Continuing, however, many people have asked, if the vaccine is effective, then why do people need a new one each year? Good question. And we have a good answer for you, but not till the next paragraph. Let's look at this sentence.However, many people have asked, many people wonder about health and disease and so on, and they think, well, if the vaccine, if this shot is effective, if it really works, then why do people need a new one each year? Maybe they think it's something like having a tooth replacement. Once you do it, it should last you for your life, but that's not the case with a flu vaccine.So
I talked to you about talking about a period of time. There's 4 ways to do it. So the annual flu shot is the first one. A new one each year is the second way to say something. Because I could put, why do people need annual flu shots here again? I could say that again. But since English doesn't like to repeat things, our author has provided us a new thing. So a new one, the one is the shot, and each year is another way to say annual.
好，所以一年一度的其实就是 each year， 好，前面加一个动词或者就是一个名词 ，a new one each year 就是每年要有一个新的，好，所以这是第二种可以用来表达一年会发生一次的这样的一种意思。好，那我们来看到这个句子，他说 ，However, many people 很多人啊，那 have asked 就是他们都问过这个问题，也就是 they wonder 他们想要知道 if 下一个句子他说如果他们想要知道如果这个疫苗 the vaccine 就是疫苗。如果疫苗是 effective 是有效的话，那么 why do people need 那人们为什么会需要 a new one 新的疫苗 each year 每年都需要。好，那这个 new one 这个 one 就是代替前面出现过的普通名词，好，通常就是离它最近的那一个 A 加普通名词到这里就是变成 one。
So then it says, according to medical experts, people need a yearly flu shot.Because the virus that causes the flu is constantly evolving. If you're evolving, it means you're changing, and the implication is for the better, but not necessarily. The flu is constantly changing, and the way it evolves or becomes better for the flu is not good for us. Now, there's another version of how to say something that happens each year here. We say a yearly flu shot. Now, we said annual flu shot in the title.And so we're just replacing annual with yearly here. But the great thing about yearly is that you can see how this can be used in other ways for other periods of time. So we could say a monthly flu shot, a weekly flu shot, a daily flu shot. You could say an hourly flu shot. I mean, this is not medically good, but I mean, it's a thing that you could say. But then you can't say minutely or secondly flu shot, but you can say a flu shot each minute.Or a flu shot each second, or every second, right? So if we change it to something else, we can say a yearly occurrence, a monthly occurrence, a weekly occurrence, a daily occurrence, an hourly occurrence, an occurrence every minute or each minute, an occurrence each second. And then you've talked in the most general way about something happening for each of these periods of time.
好，所以我们注意到这个地方 yearly 也可以用来表示一年一度的。那如果一个月一度的，那就是 monthly。好，那 weekly 就是一个礼拜一次的。那我们来看到这个句子啊，他说呢，这个 according to 根据这个 medical experts 医学专家啊，根据他们的说法呢，人们需要一个 yearly， 就是每年都要的，每年都需要的一个 flu shot。为什么呢？因为 the virus 这个病毒，什么病毒呢 ？That causes the flu 会导致会造成流行性感冒的这些病毒，好 ，cause 就是导致或者造成这种病毒是怎么样 ？is constantly 就是不断的持续的干嘛呢 ？evolving 演化，这个 evolving 这个 vol 这个字根是 roll 好，滚动的意思 roll。好，那E 就是 out， 就一直往外滚，好，所以你控制不住它，它会一直不断的演化，一直在滚。
The virus, known as influenza, can cause a wide range of uncomfortable symptoms, from a mild sore throat to severe muscle pains. Well, in case you wondered where the word flu, the flu shot, flu comes from, a much longer word here, influenza, but we shorten it to flu, and it is a virus. It can cause a wide range of uncomfortable symptoms. When we talk about diseases, how does a disease show itself? What's it like? What does it do to the body? Those we call in medicine symptoms. For example, from a mild sore throat, okay, so your throat is a little bit uncomfortable, but it's mild. It's not so bad that you cannot eat or drink. From something mild to something severe. Severe is something that is very powerful, very terrible. Muscle pains. Your body feels like you've exercised for far too long or too quickly. It's hard to find a position to sit or lie down that makes you feel comfortable.
好，所以呢 the virus 病毒，然后呢同位语告诉你 known as influenza， 大家称它为流感或者流感病毒。那这个 influenza 里面的 FLU 我们讲流行性感冒，英文叫 flu the flu 就是从这个字来的influenza。那这个病毒它可以造成 a wide range of 就是各式各样，而且范围很广，各式各样的 uncomfortable 就是不舒服的 symptoms 症状。然后呢看到 from 他在讲症状，而且接下来应该是要举例。那你看到 from 你大概就要预期后面会有一个 to from A to B， 就是在这个范围之内的症状都有。好，所以我们看到 from A 是什么呢 ？A mild 就是轻微的 sore throat 就是喉咙痛。好，所以你轻微的喉咙痛到什么样呢？显然就是另外一个极端会比较严重的，就是 severe 就是严重的，好，让人很不舒服的 muscle pains 就是肌肉疼痛或者酸痛，所以可能只是一点点不舒服，也可能全身肌肉酸痛。
For some demographics, a demographic is a fancy word to talk about a group of people linked by age. A demographic would be like 65 and older, or
50 to 65.
Or like grade school children is a demographic, or, anybody younger than 25 could be a demographic. It depends on, how you want to limit the demographic. But demographic means a group of people who are about the same age, or who share a common characteristic, like the elderly, they're all old people, or the overweight, they're all people who are supposedly too fat. So for these people, getting sick with the flu can be deadly. It can kill you.
好，所以对于某些 demographics， 我们翻成族群，就是具有某些共同特性的族群。那通常就像刚刚 Angela 老师讲的，通常我们讲年纪，一个一个的年龄层就是一个一个的 demographic。好，那另外呢，有的时候这个也跟消费市场有关，就几岁的人喜欢买什么，几岁的人喜欢买什么。好，所以在这里基本上就是族群的意思。所以对某些族群来讲呢，然后他后面举例，例如什么族群呢 ？The elderly 就是年长的人，或者是 the overweight 就是体重超重的人那他们这两个族群的人，大家拿出来举例。好，所以对某些族群的人来讲呢 ，getting sick with the flu 就是得到流感而生病，getting sick with something。 这样的一件事情呢 can be 可以是 deathly 就是致命的会死人的那个意思。
Okay, next paragraph. Since the outer structure of the influenza virus changes all the time, epidemiologists must work hard to develop new vaccines based on new strains of the virus in order for them to be effective. So we're talking about the structure. How is this virus built? What does it look like? What is its shape? So the outer structure, the outside of the virus, changes all the time. Remember, we said earlier that this virus is always evolving. It's always changing. And the people who specialize in studying diseases, epidemiologists, good luck with that one, must work hard to develop new vaccines based on new strains of the virus in order for them to be effective. The shape is changing, so the medicine has to be changed as well in order to deal with what the new version or strain of the virus is year by year.
好，那我们看到这个地方他说由于这个 the outer structure 就是外部的结构of the influenza virus 这个流感病毒的外部结构会 changes 会改变，那而且是 all the time 它一天到晚都在改变，因为这样子所以呢这个刚刚 Bruce 老师说这个字很难念，吓得我现在也不敢念了，没有开玩笑。
Epidemiologist.
Okay,
But
here we
the
go.
cool thing is that actually there's no weird vowel combination. Every vowel is its own self.
Yeah, 所以
in this
其实你一个一个音节照念就对了Epidemiologist 就可以了所以呢这些流行病学家呢 must work hard 他们一定要努力的工作才能够 develop 研发或者发展 new vaccines 新的疫苗 based on 根据 new strains of the virus 我们讲病毒株就是一个一个的 strains 那当然要跟 virus 一起搭配所以 strains of the virus 就是病毒株那个 strain 其实就是动植物的一种品种或者品系一个系统品系好，那所以他们根据的病毒株他们要发展新的疫苗才能够 in order for them 就是 them 就是这些疫苗才能够让这些疫苗 to be effective 他们才能够是有效果的
So at influenza surveillance centers around the world, their eyes are not just on us, they're also on the viruses. We're watching you, viruses. So at these surveillance centers, to surveil something is to watch and track, okay? So these new strains of the virus, these new types of virus are reported and analyzed each year. So they're not only saying, hey, there's this one. They analyze it to see what it's related to, where it might have come from, how it developed to become what it is.
Another word here for strain that you may have read or heard is variant. V-A-R-I-A-N-T. V-A-R-I-A-N-T, which comes from the verb vary. V-A-R-Y, to change.
If I never hear the word variant again in my lifetime, I will be so happy. I've heard that word so often in the last 2-3 years.
好，这个 variant 这个字其实我们中文常常把它翻成变种了
B2, B5.
Yeah, 那个就是一个变种那其实这个 strains 一个一个不同的病毒株就是一个一个不同的 variant 你可以这样去学。那我们再回来看到这个句子，他说有一个流感的监测中心surveillance 就是监测或者监视，通常怀疑这个人不乖或怎么样的，看你有没有做坏事，那就要监测。所以呢这个流感监测中心，全世界的流感监测中心在这些地方怎么样 New strains of the virus 就是新的病毒株，而且不是一个病毒株它 strain 只是加 s 的。那 are reported 会被提出报告，而且会被 analyzed 会被分析each year。所以其实每年都有很多新的流感病毒的病毒株，那他们会被报告，而且呢报告给总部知道，或者报告给大家知道，或者是他们会去做分析。
Around February, the World Health Organization decides which of these strains are most likely to be prominent in the coming year. As you can see, WHO, the World Health Organization, that does this research on the virus, this is pretty hard to do. Which of the strains, which of the variants are going to become, I shouldn't say more popular, but more common, more prominent in the next year?
Because popular means people want it.
And like it.
Nobody wants it.
好，所以呢，大概2月的时候，每年2月呢，这个 WHO 好，它会怎么样？世界卫生组织它会决定这些新发现的病毒株里面呢，有哪一些是 are most likely to 是最有可能会变成 prominent 就变得很突出 in the coming year 下一年会有哪些病毒株会变得很所谓突出就是它可能会特别不乖特别厉害传染性特别高症状特别严重等等这些会让它变得很突出。
So scientists then get to work to produce a new vaccine before the next flu season arrives. So they're trying to stay one step ahead of it.
好，所以找出来之后呢，科学家就会 get to work 就会开始工作来制造新的疫苗，好，在下一个流感季节来临之前赶快把疫苗做出来。
Okay, our final paragraph. It's also important to remember that the body's immune system is constantly developing or evolving as well as the virus evolves. Your immune system is your personal health system, your body's work at keeping diseases away, or if you get one, trying to control it so that you don't get very sick or even die from them. And the influenza virus has the same story. It's a piece of life, and so it's always changing or evolving.
好，所以 it's also important to remember that 就是底下这件事情你要记得也蛮重要的啊。什么事情呢？ The body's 我们身体的 immune system 就是这个免疫系统 is constantly 它也是不断地持续地在 developing 发展 as well， 所以不是病毒在发展，我们的免疫系统也是不断的发展。所以他告诉你说 It's not just the influenza virus that is changing， 不断改变之中的不只是这个流感病毒而已。
So that means a vaccine that might have been effective last year is likely to be useless after 12 months. When we're talking about a possibility in the past, we use might have been. So maybe it worked last year, but now it's not going to work.
好，所以 might have been 是从现在对过去事情的推测，所以现在看来也许当时它是有用的，所以这个句子是说that means 就前面这句话的意思是什么意思呢？就继续再说明一下，它也就是说一个疫苗那也许去年是有用的，但是呢 is likely to 很可能会怎么样 be useless 会变得没有用 after 12 months 所以也许经过12个月之后就完全没用了。
That's why experts recommend getting a new flu shot yearly to protect yourself and others. We mentioned this that after 1 year, the influenza virus has changed, so you need to change your flu shot to accommodate that, to deal with that.
And this is our last periodic thing. We had annual flu shots, a new one each year, a yearly flu shot, and now we have a new flu shot yearly. And all of these things mean exactly the same thing. What a first for English. 4 different ways, and they have the exact same meaning.
Yay, English.
好，所以这又是第4种说明这个每年的方法了啊。那我们看到这个句子，他说 That's why 就是前面讲这件事情，就是因为这样子，就是我们的免疫系统也在变化，病毒也在变化啊，所以去年有用的，今年可能没有用，就是因为这样子，所以专家 recommend 推荐那 recommend 后面可以接一个动名词，它就后面就基本上接一个名词性质的东西，要么就接子句，要么就接动名词，所以他们建议 getting 动名词当名词来用，要注射接种 a new flu shot 新的流感疫苗 yearly 就是 once a year annually 这个地方的 yearly 是副词，那目的是 protect yourself and others 是保护你自己也保护别人。
So remember, the vaccines not only alleviate or sort of reduce the effect of the worst symptoms of the virus, but also help reduce or make less the transmission of the viral disease. To transmit is to spread or to give from one person to another. So throughout the population. So vaccines help the whole population be less vulnerable to the virus. So the population, the group as a whole, not individuals. Although if you get the flu shot, it does alleviate your risk.
好，所以最后一句他说记得好，这个 疫苗呢不仅仅会 alleviate 这个字是舒缓的意思，它的受词是 symptoms， 它可以舒缓这些症状，而且它舒缓的是这个病毒最严重的症状可以这个舒缓，而且它也可以 help reduce， 可以有助于降低 transmission 就是传染那 of the viral disease 就是病毒引起的疾病，它可以避免这个病毒引起的疾病传染在哪里传染呢？ Throughout the population 就是在人群之间的意思，它字面上的意思就是在人口之间，在整个人口之间，也就是在整群人之间，也就是在人群间的意思。
Okay, we have 3 reading comprehension questions for you now. The first is, according to the passage, when are people most likely asked to get flu shots?
好，我们看到他说，根据本文，人们什么时候最有可能被要求接种流感疫苗呢？
Well, the answer is C, near the end of autumn.
好，所以答案是 C， 接近秋末。
And then number 2, what is the main reason doctors recommend the public get flu shots every year? Why do they ask us to get them?
医生建议大众每年接种流感疫苗的主要原因是什么呢？
The answer is D. The strains of the flu virus circulating or going around each year are different, so you need a different shot.
答案是 D， 每年流行的流感病毒株不同。
And our final question, which of the following statements is true?
底下叙述何者为正确？
The best answer is B. Old vaccines don't work as effectively as new ones.
最好的答案是 B， 旧疫苗不如新疫苗有效。
That's it for today's lesson. Till the next time.
Bye-bye.